Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Houck, I just want to see if we can sum up. It sounds like the facts out of which your prosecution by DOJ arose involved a squabble between activists. That part is correct, right?
I would agree with that.
Okay, and there was one shove that led to somebody falling down, correct?
Correct.
And that was preceded by provocation and profanity focused on your child, correct?
At other times, not particularly on that day of the incident, but yes.
Okay. And didn't you say that the activist was engaging with your child right before you escorted him back and then you had the shove?
Yes, I did say that.
Okay. And then authorities decided to indict you under the FACE Act, right?
Correct.
Do I understand from the other testimony that there's a civil provision of the FACE Act? Somebody could have sued if they wanted to? Do you know that?
I don't know about that. I can't answer that.
I think that, I believe that's what I heard, but nobody sued. They decided to indict you. They didn't indict you for a misdemeanor charge, which is like a 1 year term. They indicted you for a felony, right?
That's correct, 2 counts.
2 counts, 1 felony, maybe 1 misdemeanor. I think it was totally 11 years imprisonment they saw.
That's correct, Congressman.
Out of this squabble. And then they ignored your offer to surrender. Instead, they used a SWAT team to take you down, right?
That's right.
And then they proceed to a jury trial. And the only thing that stopped you from going to prison for 11 years is that a jury of Americans acquitted you in the face of that, correct?
Unanimously, yes, correct.
And so that strikes me as that's a data point. Now, I understand my colleagues on the other side who say, well, this is, sort of pass this away or say people are shadow boxing here, but that seems to me a data point that is this confounding. And Ms. Camp, I want to go to you. As described, does that seem like a disproportionate exercise of prosecutorial judgment to you?
So thank you for the question, Congressman.
Real quick, because I don't have much time.
I am not a prosecutor. I'm not.
You don't know? Well, let me ask you this. You spoke to, I think, an arson attack on an abortion facility or something in Texas. Did you talk about that during your testimony, your answers?
I think it wasn't in Texas, but yes, arsons,
okay.
Yes.
Did somebody get prosecuted for that? Because they damn well should have been.
I agree, Congressman.
Were they?
I believe not yet, but there's definitely a shortage of resources to prosecute.
Do you have any insight why they would prosecute Mr. Houck for a squabble with an activist outside and send the SWAT team and take him to a jury that acquits him if they haven't gotten the person who committed an arson attack on a clinic, on an abortion clinic? Any insight at all?
Congressman, I'm not with the DOJ. I don't have that information.
Does anybody on the panel have any insight about why they would do that? See, I think that's the thing that's concerning. And then you hear about—
Would the gentleman yield? I do have some insight.
Do you have an
on
answer, a quick answer? Yield for an answer to that, real quick.
Sure. Mr. Houck was a well-known aggressive participant in demonstrations outside facilities in Philadelphia.
So they picked him. So they picked him because
just push the guy once. 72-year-old man. He admitted he pushed him down.
It's my time, and
oh, sorry. You asked for
no. I was giving you the answer.
Panel.
You gave me the answer. You gave me the answer a minute ago. Mr. Houck was an activist. He was opposed to the killing of children through abortion, and he said that, so they made him a target. Let me tell you what that is. That is called selective prosecution in violation of the Constitution. You cannot make prosecutorial decisions because you want to make an example out of somebody who's a well-known anti-abortion or pro-life activist. You can't do that. That's unconstitutional. If that is the answer to the question that I posed to Ms. Camp, then it deepens the concern about the Justice Department and the FBI. If that is the answer, then it indicates that we have, as the Durham, Mr. Nadler denigrates the Durham report. Ms. Jackson Lee says, well, Durham, the special counsel, came to his conclusions just because of who appointed him. No, we see institutional corruption. Despite for the First Amendment rights of Americans, which is expressed through politicized prosecutorial activity, is the most grievous crisis that I've ever seen in this country. I cannot believe that I have to be concerned about the FBI and the DOJ, and then, frankly, members of Congress sitting up here and say, I have the explanation. We picked Mr. Houck because he's a zealous advocate
Would the
life.
gentleman yield? That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you
No,
said.
it is
And
not.
I think that's the answer that most Americans have regrettably come to the conclusion that that's what's happened. My time's expired.